Let's try it without a mic. Can you hear me all right back there? Yeah? All right. Good. Good. Okay, so yesterday I was having breakfast. Right next to the breakfast there was a barber. So I finished my breakfast. I went to the barber. It's a random place. I have never been there before. And that's why you need Google, because they butchered my hair right there. So it's a terrible cut. Make sure you check the Google reviews before you go to any place, okay? So that's a great example of why Google is important, and I'm very delighted to be here. To start with, Google is massive. Google is so critical to a lot of businesses. But it's not the entire thing. We can be very narrow focused on certain aspects of marketing and think that the tools and the platforms are the answer, where in fact, the answer is in finding your market. Are you in a blue ocean or are you in a red ocean? Do you have an attractive offer? Is your service or offering different from your competition? So there are a lot of things that come to business before looking at, oh, what can Google give me? What can Facebook get me? And all of these other platforms. So before looking outside, we need to do what we call product market fit. Is the product that we're giving, whether product or service, fitting a specific niche, and are we solving a problem for people? So just something to be thinking about before we really start to think that, oh, Google is the answer or Facebook is the answer. Since we have some time, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better, because when I'm speaking, I like to say, okay, this is an example. I could like to give you relevant examples. So just quickly, if you don't mind, your name and the company, what business are you in? Very quickly, I know we'll have a lot of us, but can we start with you, sir? I love workshops like that because this gives me the opportunity to share what I learn. I'm just like you. I'm in the trenches. I work hard on my business, and I try to learn everything I can whenever I can. I'm sure I can learn a lot from you guys, but my expertise, this is my bread and butter. I study marketing all day long. This is what I do. So I hope that I will provide some value. 3 words that sums up digital marketing in my opinion: social, search, and email. We call it the top of funnel. Social is the top of funnel. Why? Because people are not going on Instagram to buy your services. They're on Instagram to just entertain themselves, to just check on friends and family. They're just there. But then you pop up on social. When you pop up on social, oh, who's this person? If you're providing them value, let's say it's pest control season. Let's say, yesterday, a few days ago, I had a snake in my porch. I have no idea how to get rid of the snake. So if I'm scrolling on Instagram and a pest control company is telling, hey, it's a snake season. If you encounter a snake, either give us a call or do that. How to learn if the snake is venomous or not. So there's a lot of value that a pest control could give me. Plumbing, right? Same thing. Every person here has a lot of gift, has a lot of expertise, and we need to share it with the world. Even if it seems that nobody's listening, it's still very important to share our expertise. And it's also going to play a role when people search. And I will get to that in a second. So social is at the top of funnel. We're trying to be visible in the community. We're trying to get people to like us, hopefully, if you don't have that kind of haircut. But then we want people to trust us. And that's what social provides. Now, when it comes to search, there's a lot of intent in search. So when I'm on social media, and the plumber comes and tell me, oh, if you want to take care of your plumbing, this is what you should do. I'm not ready to buy. There's nothing broke in my house. But when something actually broke, when something is leaking in my house, I'm directly going to Google and I'm typing plumber near me. And you can take plumber and change with your profession, whatever that is. So Whatever your profession, people are going to Google and searching your profession near me because they want services immediately. The intention there is that I want to hire someone. And now what they find determine whether your business gets selected or your competition. And that's what makes that workshop quite important. All right, so let's start with the basic ones, which is the Google Business Profile. And notice I did not start with your website, because a lot of business owners that I see are so obsessed with the website. Like they think marketing is about website. But in fact, you can run a very successful business without a website, with zero website. So you don't have to spend all the money and time and effort to do and develop a website. If you have a strong presence on social media and you have a strong Google Business Profile, when I say Google Business Profile, anybody doesn't recognize that word, it's totally free to say. Nobody's going to judge you if you don't know what a Google Business Profile means. But are we clear on the term?
Are you going to be sending the slides out?
We will, yes. So Google Business Profile is your business on the map of Google Maps. And this comes usually with assets. These assets could be, I can see it there. Could be, for example, your name of the business, could be your number, and could be your website if you have one. But most importantly, the reviews. And I can share some tricks about how to get reviews. I know everybody struggle with, people buy from me, people like me, but nobody gives me a review. There's some ways to kind of maneuver around that. There's some incentives we can give. Make sure immediately we ask for a review as soon as we complete the service. And one thing I find works for me very well is to, when you have a Google review, people don't want to go to Google and search your business and find you and then give you a review. That's a lot of process. You're giving them a task where you could do a trick. You can capture that link of the Google review and attach it to a domain name. Domain name meaning, for example, in my business, I have 5starnaja.com. When you go to F-I-V-E star naja.com, you will immediately be redirected to the Google review link. So that makes it easy for me to ask for a review. Like, hey, how was the service? Oh, great. Okay, would you mind giving me the review? Just go to 5starnaja.com. It makes life much easier for the person to give you a review. Another people put a QR code in their shop. That's okay, but you have to still ask them to do it. People see these all the time. They're not going to take the initiative unless you ask them to give you the review. The reviews are great, but also there are other things you can do to enhance that Google Business Profile. There are certain things like you have to update it constantly. So what happens is that Google Business Profile is just like your Facebook account, is just like your Instagram account. You have to treat it this way. Because if you have a Google Business Profile and you forget about it, well, your competition are constantly updating it. And so Google measures that in their algorithm when they start to rank. So it's not just reviews that they care about other things. For example, are you posting? Because believe it or not, that Google Business Profile, you can add articles to it, you can add videos to it, you can add photos to it, you can update your working hours, your holiday hours. The more engagement you give for that Google Business Profile, the higher you rank in the algorithm. And that's what we need to, please.
Would you recommend how often should you update your Google Business Profile? I didn't even know that you should be updating, but how often do you think is a minimum they should be updating?
When I work with clients, I like to once a week.
Okay.
I know this can be hard for some people, but just like if you post once a week on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever, just think about, I can also update my Google Business Profile. You can add articles, additional services, all sorts of stuff. If you post on YouTube, and YouTube is not part of the presentation, although it's part of Google, but YouTube, according to data, So we all know that people go and search Google for your business, right? The second largest search engine is YouTube. So there's a big percentage of us, when we are struggling to find a solution for a problem, we are going not to Google, but to YouTube. We want to find a video that helps us solve that problem. And if your business is on YouTube, you have a higher chance that your business will pop up, your YouTube video will pop up. And so now they're building familiarity with you, they're discovering your business from YouTube. And also you can link that YouTube video to your Google business profile as well. The third thing is to backlinks. We call it backlinks. If people are mentioning this Google business profile to others, Google will rank your business higher. Sometimes you'll be shocked that you will see someone with maybe 30 reviews rank on top, and the second one will be like 140 reviews. How is that possible? Like, how is someone with 140 reviews rank second, where someone with 30 reviews rank first? That's why. There's so many things that play. It's not just reviews. Google are very good at discovering manipulation. So a lot of people, get excited. They attend a workshop like that. They go and they start focusing 100% of their time on Google for the next week or two. Well, Google punishes that because they think that this is some sort of manipulation. There's also review swapping. I meet you, would you give me a review? I'll give you a review back. Google detects that and penalizes it. So you have to be very careful. What Google cares about is authenticity, is the real. They want to recommend the businesses that are real. If they detect that you're trying to manipulate the system, they're going to penalize it. So you still can do that exchange if you want on a networking, on a chamber event or whatever, but you have to be very careful about it. So yeah, I will give you a review today, but I will put it on my calendar or on your calendar to give me a review in 2 months' time, 3 months' time. So you're still going to do the exchange, but delayed. That makes more sense to Google. Because if I give you a review, you give me a review, how's that possible? It's not even, conceivable to, natural to the people. So yeah, we talked about how you optimize your profile. We talked about your posts and offers that you keep updating on your profile. Responding to reviews is very important as well. When people give you a review, make sure you respond. If it's a negative review, don't bash at them, don't hate at people. Thank you for your feedback. We're not perfect. We work hard on our business. There's no shame in that. Sometimes we make mistakes. It's part of we're human, okay? So respond to your reviews. And then you can use insights. There are many tools out there. I'm not gonna get too technical, but you can always book calls with people like us in SPDC where we can help you, guide you through the entire process. And then the second version of that is to use Google Ads. So Google Ads, after you have a Google profile, you can promote that profile until you rank #1. Usually that's how I like to do it. I would start with optimizing my Google profile organically. Organic means that we're not paying Google. But then it takes time to start to increase our ranking. And so we want in this time to attempt on Google Ads. Now Google Ads is different for every industry. If you're a law firm, lawyers pay a lot of money for Google Ads to get qualified lead or to get good leads, right? But some other businesses, there's no competition. They pay less money on Google Ads, so Google Ads can be very effective for them. And it's a bidding system, just like eBay. So if there's so much demand on that profession or that keyword in that specific location, the price goes up. If there's little demand, the price goes down. So the only way we know is when we try it, when we start launching these campaigns. And the good thing about Google is they have a $500 match offer usually. So if you are savvy, you can get Google to, if you spend $500 in a 2 months period, Google will add $500 on top of your money. So you spend $500, you end up with $1,000 of budget on Google Ads, especially if you're starting out with Google Ads.
And that's, I'm sorry, and that's you saying that's a week or month?
A month or 2 months. Like they give you credit, basically. You say, okay, I'm going to spend $500 with Google Ads. You can say how much you're spending on a daily basis. And then but there's 2 months. If you spend more than that, they will not give you back the $500. Yeah.
You need to know how ROI, Google Ads or Google AdWords.
I mean, we're talking about the same thing here. I'm talking about Google Ads in general.
That's what the words, like go like have like a word, and like go by company name, information like that. But it's not an ad, it's just a word.
Yeah, so with Google Ads, you can promote the Google Business Profile, the one that we're talking about, or you can promote your website, or your landing page, or your video. So Google is massive. So when it comes to Google Ads, they have more than 10 different campaign types. And they are introducing a new one right now, which is the AI one, which literally, it's still on an expensive side. We're not seeing a lot of good results for it, especially for small businesses. But it's called the Performance Max campaigns, which are kind of, they utilize all Google assets in one campaign type. But this is something like more, I think when it comes to your business, what we're talking about here are search ads. Search ads, meaning if I'm going to lawyers near me or family lawyer near me, and your Google Maps business or Google profile is not on the top of that list, you can pay Google to be on the top of the list. And it will write sponsored underneath it. So that's what I mean by search ads. We're trying to, now there's another thing is, okay, so with Google search ads, you can target a specific city. So if you're in Lake Elsinore, go ahead.
So you can limit your profile to, say, a surrounding area?
Absolutely, exactly.
And that's it.
Yes, you can have, geo-targeting is big, not only on Google, on all the platforms, like Facebook can do the same thing. You can target a specific, all the way to a zip code. So it's very, you can be very local or you can expand. So up to you, but I prefer if you're starting out, be very local, dominate your local listing.
Talking about Facebook to market.
Facebook, I have another workshop that is very popular as well, where we talk about meta ads, which are very, very great, but keep following the SBDC events, you'll end up finding a workshop like that, or reach out to me and I'm happy to share with you all the resources you can get.
Yeah, I'm from Apple Valley. I would like to see something closer.
Yeah, I have a QR code at the end of the presentation. When you scan it, you can go to schedule a call with us or sign up for the SBDC and ask them to match with me, and I can work with you one-to-one.
Great.
Yep. So we can target geo-targeting. It's a smart bidding. As I said, you don't know how much your lead is going to cost, but it's really about demand and supply. You can split test keywords, and I'm going to talk about how you're going to know what keyword to target. And this is another area we're going to touch on right now. And then, of course, analysis is a continuous thing. You have to start to be savvy with data. There are some tools to help. We are here to help. But you need to really measure what you're doing to know, okay, last time I had a doctor, she's a pelvic floor practitioner, and she's using Google Ads and she's getting results. So I asked her, okay, what is your CAC? She was like, what, CAC? I said, yeah, cost, customer acquisition cost. Customer acquisition cost. So if you're spending $1,000 on Google Ads and you're getting 3 customers, if your CAC, if your customer acquisition cost does not pay for your Google Ads, you're losing money. So you're working for free. And if it's the opposite, you're making money, and so you can invest more. But then she said, oh, I only charge $200 for a patient visit. I was like, okay, but what's your lifetime value of that client? LTV, another acronym. What's your lifetime value for a client? She said, well, on average, a client sees me 5 to 6 times 5 to 6 times $200, so your LTV is $1,500. $1,500 is your lifetime value of that client, and your cost of acquisition is like $500, $300. It means that you have a gold mine. You are putting $1 in, you're getting $3 out. Well, that's a casino that is always going to let you win. So I would go all in. I will find any money to invest in that trade because that's working. And whenever you find something that's working, you need to double down on it. So knowing your numbers will help you comprehend. Because if you're just seeing the bill on Google and say, oh my God, I spent $1,000 on Google, oh my goodness. Well, how much the result? How much did you make from Google, right? And that's how you basically try to calculate the whole thing. All right, now we talk about SEO. I'm sure that you've heard of that term, search engine optimization. This is usually targeting websites. Who is in the room who have a website? All right, everyone, almost everyone have a website. That's great. Okay. Who is doing anything about SEO? Like they're optimizing their website? Okay, very few. So I know that this can be very tricky to people, but I will try to break it down, okay? There are multiple types, as you can see on the screen. There's the technical SEO. Technical SEO means, is your website fast enough to load? Because Google cares about that. Because Google cares about the customer experience. So if people are searching for something and they stumbled upon a website and they click on that website and this website takes forever to load, you know, people are on their phones, sometimes they don't have great signal, so the internet speed is not always great. So you need their website to be able to load quickly, and that is check mark on Google's algorithm. Say, okay, website is fast enough, let's move on. The second one is, you know, in the titles of the pages, the titles of the headings, the headline, the title, the keyword density within the text of your website. But before we want to talk about this, we want to talk about how can we determine what are the keywords that we need to target. So this is a problem I have, and my wife keeps telling me that you keep talking a lot of jargon. Like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, I talk about funnels, I talk about Google Ads, and for the regular people, they don't know this stuff. And we all have this problem. We're expert in our fields, so we use a lot of jargon in our field. But when people are searching for your service, they're not using your jargon. So, for example, I work with a personal injury attorney. And this is the term that they use, personal injury. But when we looked at the data, people are not using personal injury attorney near me. They're using accident attorney. That's what everyday people look for. And so you can see a lot of examples like this in every profession in here. You will think that, oh, this is my terms, this is my jargon, but we don't know what the real data is telling us. And so what we need to do is we need to discover what people are looking for on Google. And there are tools to do that. So there is a tool that I love called SEMrush. It's a very popular tool, SEMrush. What it does, this tool tells you, you give it, okay, I'm a personal injury, I'm a plumber, I'm a insurance broker. And it tells you what people are looking for, what terms, what keywords are they looking for in that field. And what ended up happening is you're having a list of keywords, and you know the volume, how many searches are being conducted with that keyword per month. You can also see the competition, because we all have sharks in our industries, right? Like we are sometimes a little pawn in a big shark, in a big chess game. So we want to see the competition. They might be heavily optimized around the main keyword of your industry, but they're not paying enough attention for other alternative keywords that don't have the same volume, but they are still very important for your business. So you can optimize on a keyword that is less competitive than the main keyword. So we have to devise a plan and come up with 3 to 5 keywords in your business to optimize for. And then we can embed these keywords in the meta tags behind the website. This is the technical part. Or in the headline of the website. When you land on a website, there is the main heading. We call it H1. So H1 is the main title of your website. Now, if your keyword is embedded in that H1, that's a plus. And then in the subheadline, H2, there's multiple layers of that. And then how we can smartly inject that keyword inside the content of our website can help the algorithm give our website to the people who are searching. But again, Google is cracking down on manipulation. So here's the tricky part. Whenever something works, people, especially marketers, they jump on it and they start ruining it for everyone. And that's what's happening. Some people are creating H1 tags that white color, so they don't appear, but they bombard their website with these junk. So the regular user cannot see it because it's white over white, so it doesn't work. But there's a lot of H1 tags on these pages. But now Google is cracking on these things too. And now Google is using AI, and I think we have a slide here about AI. But Google are using AI tools, kind of like ChatGPT, that read your website and develop the context. What you're trying to say from this website. It's not just the keyword density. It's not just how many times you mentioned plumber in Lake Elsinore keyword, if that's the keyword you're optimizing for, or private investigator in Lake Elsinore. If you inject that a lot, but you're talking about something else, so now the AI is getting that. Because the AI is not just searching for the keyword, the AI is getting a gist of the context. What are you trying to do? What services are you offering? And trying to match that with a searcher who's looking for something like that. So there's a lot of that. So I think that it all goes back to authenticity. What are we trying? We have to be super clear about what we're offering, what problem are we solving, and using our website for that purpose, to communicate that as clear as possible to the audience. Okay, so we talked SEO, technical side, mobile. A lot of people love to open their website on their big screen in their office. But guess what? 99% of the people are on their mobile phone. And when they're checking your website, it's on the mobile. Have you ever seen how your website looks on your mobile? Well, you need to check that. You need to see that experience. Yeah, and then there's a lot of technical things. I think people, like when we start working one-to-one, we can optimize that, or you can hire someone on Fiverr or an SEO agency or whatever to help you with the technical part if you're not comfortable with that. The content. So just as we said, we need to update our Instagram, we need to update our Facebook, we need to also update our Google business profile, but we also need to update our website. An activity on the website in terms of blog posting, if you create a YouTube video, embed that YouTube video inside of your website. These are all very good for the algorithm to know. The more updated you are, and in blogging, you can also blog once a week, write articles, talk about case studies, things that you help other businesses with, etc. And then backlinks. And notice I wrote credible backlinks next to it, because you can easily get random websites on the internet that they don't have any quality traffic really, and make them link to your website. But that's not really credible. So what you need to do is you need to reach out to other important publications in your industry and ask them if you can collaborate, they can publish your post and link back to your website. You can go to places like Quora, like Reddit, like places where people can, and start a discussion post. Start something outside and make sure you always link to your website. Social media can also help, because in every social media profile, you are also linking back to your website. And so these backlinks can also help the algorithm in ranking you top on the search results. And then the user experience, right? Google measures when people come to your website, I'm like, oh, what's that? And you close, they call it churn. If your churn is high, Google is not going to recommend your website anymore. So you need to make sure that when people come to your website, they're welcomed, they're visually appealing, easy to navigate, the menu is clear, you don't bombard people with a lot of text, with super high red colors, and it's so overwhelming. I've seen the worst, trust me, worse than my haircut. But I've had a lot of horrible experiences with looking at people's website. They think that it's great, but when in fact it's very overwhelming, okay? Very text heavy, very overwhelming. So we need to optimize that. The more people spend time on your website and navigate through pages, means that it signals to Google that your website is good to go, right? So we need to navigate and we need to optimize on that too. This is how I was talking about search and AI's influence. How many is using ChatGPT on a regular basis? Okay. Oh, we have a lot of people you've never touched ChatGPT?
No, I use it for very specific things.
Okay.
Not for just everyday things.
Yeah.
What about Bing Copilot,
Yeah.
AI, Gemini?
Gemini, Claude.
I use those ones.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think it's crucial to at least understand what is this technology, how we can benefit from it, and just be with the. I know some people are fearful of it. I understand why, especially with these agentic AI. Agentic AI are they're trying to develop an agent where it can actually fulfill a task A to Z on its own, which can replace a lot of jobs potentially. But this is a technology wave, and we need to ride that wave and be knowledgeable about this wave so that we can weather the storm and be able to find a way to stay relevant in an age of AI agents running around the internet. But search, in the context of search, AI is heavily used right now. Whether from Google's side to determine what sites to rank and what profiles to rank, but also there are people who are like myself. If I am looking for a service provider, I no longer go to Google at all. I will just go to ChatGPT. It has a search function, and I ask, who is the best plumber in my town? And ChatGPT has to go read the internet, analyze it for me, and come back with an answer. And so the more people are using that, the more we have to think, how can we optimize our business to be able to stay relevant in the age where AI is doing the search for the people. It's quite wild. We haven't figured this out yet. We're trying to see what works and what not when it comes to these AI tools. But we have to be thinking about it as we move forward. As I said, they're cracking on spam and any sort of manipulation. So some people are saying, okay, well, they send a link to their customers. If they say thumb down, they will not send them to Google review. If they say thumbs up, they send them to Google review to write them a good review. Well, I recently learned that Google is cracking down on that too, because that was a really nice trick. You can send an email to your customers and say, how did we do? Thumbs up or thumbs down? If thumbs down, they don't go to Google review. They're just like sneaky, right? Go.
Kind of a question on that. If your Google business profile has 100% 5-star reviews, authentic, not, but is that a trigger for accuracy? Because
I think it depends on the business. If you are a transactional business, it's really sketchy to have fully 100%. Like if I'm if this is a high volume, low ticket item, it's really a little bit sketched, like why it's all 5 star. I mean, nobody has any little complaint, so that could be. But if you are high ticket, for example, in my area, like I'm a marketing agency, I work with clients and I, make sure I have a process to make sure satisfaction guaranteed. So when you go to my Google review, it's all 5 star because I make sure it is. Now, and I'm a small company. So eventually I will get 1 star and I will get 3 star, but as I grow, it's authentic like that. But some businesses that are high volume, like they sell every day many items, some people will end up with a bad experience, and that's natural. And it's good to encourage that, actually. Even if it's 3 star review, it should be there.
It doesn't necessarily trigger that it's not authentic.
I don't see it.
Depends on the business.
Yeah, it depends on the business, and I don't have like an accurate answer. I wish I can work in Google and steal their information, but yeah, we don't know everything. We're still learning. All right, go ahead.
Basically, like last year, I was denied my business because it was encompassing a larger area. Can you give me like some key insights on how that actually would happen?
Yes, this is, so when you have a Google business profile, you have to have an office. They don't even accept the PO box thing. They have to have a local office. And if you expand too much, I've seen businesses who try to rent even a small little tiny office that is nobody use, just to use the verification of that office to expand to different geographic areas. So yeah, Google, you have to stick within your local area and optimize for that. And then as your business expands, you open another office somewhere else, and then you optimize that, and so on and so forth.
For example, because I was living in Riverside, it would allow me to incorporate to Inland Empire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes Google would kind of give a little bit challenge, and then all they want is that you just have a picture of your name, of your business, and the door, So that way you can recognize that you're a legitimate business.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to see, and also they want to see, because that's what, while we were in transition, they want to see what's across the street there.
Or if you have your business license and all of it,
Sure.
if you service it,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be valid?
Yeah, so when you do the verification, I usually show the business license. So I make sure that to include, because there's a video that you need to take. I usually include IDs and whatever they ask. They have a description of what they need to see.
Yeah, but when I was doing the video, they wanted it, even though with the license, everything, they want to see what's across the street.
Yes.
So they want to take a picture where you at and a picture of your.
Yes. Because they want to verify your location. They want to know that you are where you say you are. Yeah, exactly.
What if you're a home-based business?
I did that. I started with pandemic the home care, and everything was shut down. So what I did is your home, everybody works from home. As long as you have your title in there, and then what it is, that's what they want to see that, that's what I did.
Yeah, home care is a challenge. I also have the same problem. I have a studio in my garage that I record content on, and it's the same problem. I still don't have a verified location. So it is what it is. Sometimes we have to work with what we can, but still, you still can have a Google business profile, even if you don't have a verified location. Ideally, you should verify your location to just become relevant in your geographical area. But if we can't, we can't.
They won't verify you if you work from home?
They do.
Oh.
They do. It's just a different process. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. As she mentioned, you have to show that you have a good office in your home. You have to have like your business license, your home authorization, stuff like that. So we can work on it for sure. But it's one of the tricky aspects of getting verified. It's not easy. So and it takes time, and you have to contact support and file things, and yeah, it's not fun. It's
I
not.
have 30 years of taxes. I could send them that I filed for the business.
as I said, like Google is not everything, right? So there are so many people who are killing it, like business-wise, and their Google is not optimized. You can utilize, landing pages and meta ads and bringing people in and setting appointments. And Google is not everything, but it's one important pillar of marketing. So, go ahead.
I get a lot of phone calls and they say your Google business is now verified. Are some of those like spam? Is that actually Google calling?
No, Google will not call.
So I get a postcard. I'm like, am I verified? Am I not verified?
So it's so easy to check if you're verified because you will have the actual profile up and running and people can come and see it. You can go to incognito mode on your browser and check if you appear in the search. If you search your business name and you appear, you have a profile, that means that you are verified and legit.
I did never show a license, but I am, everything you said I have, but then when I hear a lot of people say, they're asking for your license and you're asking for that.
Well, ask someone to look for your business outside of your phone and see if they find your business. That's an easy way to check.
So question for you, now that you mentioned about, she was touched on something that was important about people calling. When I put my second business in Google and then also Yelp, there were a lot of people were calling, like it was harassing about, you are in Yelp, and they were in fact getting angry because, why you're in Yelp, or we're from Yelp, and we wanted, and they were not from Yelp. It was, I'm not kidding, like maybe during a day, 8 hours of the business, it was like maybe 20 phone calls from one after minute after minute.
Yeah.
And then that happens.
That's as soon as you start advertising with Yelp, those people, as soon as they see that you advertise with anything, they're jumping on to get you to advertise with whoever they're working with. It's spam.
Totally.
They're not even calling from the country.
There's any way in Google that you can, just kind of like probably not have your data so that they can have those people be from different countries or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a local business, you need to have a phone number. Now, it's your choice whether you want to use your personal phone or your regular phone. I use my personal phone, but I get a lot of spam just like you. And there was a recent study that says 97% of Americans are targeted with spam and scams.
Yeah.
So we are like people outside the country. Cambodia is a huge source of, even the government is partaking in the scam industry. They traffic people, they put them in camps. I attended an FBI workshop where they talk about there's a pig butchering scam going on where people's entire savings, entire thing just goes away and nobody can salvage that. So it's massive. The scam industry, you have to be very careful of it. Key insights is that don't answer your phone if you don't know the number. Try not to fall for anything. Now with AI, they can mimic your kid's voice. Try to have some sort of secret code. Like me and my wife, we have like a secret code. Like if something happens, we have to. So it's a constant struggle that we have to be always careful. It's part of life these days, unfortunately.
I've heard that there is a way in Google, and I'm just trying to find a company that your data is not there to link into those scam people, spams, companies. Have you heard about that?
The thing is, you want your phone to be public. You as a business owner, it's in your best interest to have your phone in public because you want to get business.
No, definitely.
And some people, they love to pick up the phone and call you. It's just that we have this extra layer of being careful, okay? What do you want? I mean, if it's legit, okay. If not, you have to be able to detect which one is which. All right.
Oh, can I make a comment
Please,
on that?
please.
I think both email and phone number is very important. You got to monitor your emails, your phone numbers, and you physically have to block the callers, and you physically have to block the people emailing you, unfortunately, and then report spam. Report spam every time, report spam. It does get better. At first, I'm sure some of you are like just overwhelmed. You probably get 1,000 emails a day with this stuff. But if you go through it, take the time, it does get better, it does get easier. I probably now, I have my phone number, my personal cell phone number all over, and it's, I probably get now like 5 a day, something like that, if that makes sense. So if you do it and do it right, it does get easier and better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I share some things that I do?
Please.
So there's 2 things that I do to help minimize spam. I recently learned with the cell phone company, you can sign in through your website or through their website through your account. And they now have a spam option where I guess they're now detecting what is spam and they just stop the calls immediately.
Beautiful.
So overnight, I got a drop in spam calls. And then with spam emails, I've started heavily using Google filters to just automatically delete emails. I don't have to stress about it, where I have to sit there for 5 minutes just deleting emails.
Yeah.
So I've created filter after filter after filter with like just similar things that keep popping up, and I either mark it as read or just delete it or move it into a separate folder that I will only pay attention to that and just ignore everything else.
Awesome. Yeah, these are great. Please.
Could you tell me again, where do you check your business? You said you could go somewhere and check your business, your Google business identity to make sure you're verified?
Yeah, you just go to the incognito mode in the browser. It's like a,
Okay, I know what that is.
and then you go there and then you type your business name
Okay, got it.
and see what you get.
Oh, I was gonna say one other thing, area codes, know your local area codes, and if it's outside of that area code, I would say you're safe to not miss. Because most of the spam is like 202 or some random area code, and if you're familiar with the area codes in Southern California, you can kind of automatically know to avoid those numbers, let them go to voicemail and then block them.
But like right now, lately I've been here getting like, I've been blocking those outside of the county or the state. But now they're calling from Mexico, from
Yeah.
Cambodia, from Philippines, and they're using the 951.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard,
It's hard. A few months ago, I was running Facebook ads. I was like, okay, and then an email came to me, hey, your ads are not compliant.
Yes.
And I saw that the link that they provide is like facebook.com/whatever. I was like, huh. I hover over my mouse. There's a tool, it's not the tool, but you hover over your mouse over that link, and it will show you down there the real link. Because you can do any text, and you hyperlink it with anything else. So this is, and I discovered that actual link is a complete scam. So I'm glad I did not click on that. So they're getting really sneaky. You have to be super vigilant about what you click on. Best is to go, like for example, if you receive an email telling you Facebook is that your ad is denied, just go to Facebook yourself and then check for yourself. That's the best way. All right, let's wrap it up here. We don't have a lot of slides left. Keyword research, we mentioned about tools like SEMrush and how you can identify a keyword that works for you. And then some data-driven tools, like you can use Google Analytics, Search Console, and SEMrush and Looker Studio. This is if you want to geek out on the data part of the whole thing. You don't have to, but if you want. And with that being said, thank you all for being here, and I'm open for more questions if you have.
I want to do a quick closing too.
Please.
When you're done.
Yeah, so any further questions on this whole thing, please?
So with SEO, are there benefits or like what's the logic behind using a really short key phrase versus like a long, like I don't understand that part where they say try to keep it within X amount of characters, but that part I'm confused about, like how does it actually get analyzed and used? And
I'm glad you asked. So the shorter the phrase, the higher the competition on it. The longer the phrase, the more narrow, so the more you have a chance to compete. Let me explain. So if I go with plumbing services, that's too wide. Plumbing services where? Is it in the whole country? So imagine all of the big plumbing company in the entire United States with years and resources are trying to compete for that keyword. But if you go plumbing services in Lake Elsinore, now we have a longer term, but it's a more narrow term, so Google will take out everything else and start you competing with only plumbing within Lake Elsinore. And so some people also optimize their website with that. So I've seen websites where, what's your business again?
It's a sandwich shop, so Bocadillo Kitchen.
Sandwich, okay. So maybe gas station near me, okay? So gas station in Lake Elsinore. So now you're popping up on Google Maps. I think that's the key one, is Google Maps and Apple Maps. These are the main common ones. So you need to pop up there and focus on these two platforms. But in general, some people are taking that heading, the H1, and say, okay, if you are a family low in Lake Elsinore, they put Lake Elsinore in the headline of their website because they want to compete, they want to dominate that. And I've seen people who have duplicate their website, like someone says the Inland Empire, right? You want to target the whole Inland Empire. They make 5 different versions of their existing website. Each version is for one city, so that they can kind of optimize on that. So there's a lot that people can do.
But if you're a franchise and your website will add, it just needs to go to like a landing page instead
Yes.
of a website, because that optimization sucks.
Absolutely.
We don't have our own website.
Yeah, you will have to use landing pages. You'll have to use landing pages and separate Google profiles to be found. But then some franchisees don't let you. They have very strict rules on what you can and can't do. So it gets tricky. But landing pages is usually the best. So you go like, okay, mcdonalds.com/Lake Elsinore. That would be your landing page. That's the way around it. It's very tough. Cool. Thank you. Any more? All right. Go.
I wanted to share that. Yeah, you have to be very vigilant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some emails as well go to spam because the person using that email might have been involved in mass emails. I had a realtor who uses his email to send 400, 500 people in Gmail, and that makes that email useless because it's they get it that this is spam.
I do agree with what you said because
Ignore that normally, but
Yeah.
that's a customer that's here locally.
My number starts with 209. I'm coming from the Bay Area, so
That's the thing.
yeah,
You
True.
just have to be very vigilant.
correct.
Can you go to the previous slide, please?
Okay. This one?
Okay.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, just something to share with everyone here. I've found even phone calls, it looks like it comes as an area code 951, and they are not a local, they're called spoof calls.
Yeah.
So it's like 951, 714, and the clue I got to that was if I answered it, and there's a period or latency, taking a while for them, I just hang out. That's
Yeah.
what I do now.
Yep. And AI is becoming very good. So you'll answer, there's a machine that talks to you,
Yeah.
which is really scary.
So I use chat flowers from you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's cool, yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everyone.
That's everyone. Thank Naja.